In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this shed in Revit. This is going to be part one of 3 parts. So I'll show you how to make a floor, 4 walls, and a roof. So the first thing you're going to do is open up Revit and open up a new file or a new project. And you want to make sure you're opening up an architectural template, and that's going to be consistent with this tutorial and the different floor plans that you're going to be using. So say OK. And the first thing that we want to do is change the names of our floor levels. So for level 1, go ahead and right click on it and say rename, and just rename this floor, and that'll be for the first floor, and say yes to rename the corresponding levels and views. And right click on level 2 and rename that to roof. Say OK, and yes again. What you're looking at here are your different elevation views. So north, east, south, and west. And what we're going to do within these 4 boxes is make 4 walls for our shed. So I'll start off by going to my wall option up here. And there's a couple different ways that you can make walls. One of the ways is you can use your line tool and create the 4 walls manually. Or you can use the rectangle tool and you can draw out a rectangle for your shed. And that's the way that I prefer to do it. So now I want to make a 12-foot by 16-foot shed. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on my long wall. And I want to click on these little nodes and make sure they're aligned with the outside of my wall. And let's change this to 12 feet or 12 space 0 and press enter. And that's my shortest wall. I'm going to click on my next one, and if you don't want to just keep on clicking on the nodes, you can also click and drag and then press tab until it hovers over the wall that you want. So I'm pressing my tab key now. I'm hovering over my exterior wall, pressing tab, and it aligns right there. And then I'll change this to 16 feet and press enter. So now the dimensions of my walls are all set. If I go to my 3D view up here, you'll see that my walls are really tall. So to change that, I have to scroll down until I see elevations and click on any one of them. So here, it says my roof is at 10 feet. I want to change this to 8 feet. Since it's just a shed, it's not going to be super high. So we will click on this wall, and to change the height, we'll just drag it down. And we're going to do this for each individual wall. Now, if you're working on a project, you don't need to do this every time. There's actually a way to adjust the heights of the walls as you're making them. So if you double click on your floor plan, and if you go back to wall, you'll see here that your wall height is set at 20 feet. If you're working originally, you can just say 8 feet, and it'll make your walls 8 feet. So that alleviates your need to go into the elevations and change it there. So the next thing I'm going to do is make a floor. So up here, I'll go over to my floor option. And again, you can use the line tool to map out the floor. You can use the rectangle tool. But another tool that I like using is this pick walls option. And I am going to click on each wall. And you're going to see that a pink border pops up, showing me where my floor is going to be. So you can also click on this little icon here that will switch the floor and make it aligned inside the wall. For this project, I want them aligned outside the wall, so you should have a pink border that extends to the exterior of your wall. Once you have that, go up here to your properties and change the material to wood joist 10-inch wood finish and press the check mark. And you'll see that we have the texture for our floor that shows up in our preview. So the next thing we want to do is make a roof, and we're going to make a gabled roof. So let's double click on the roof plan here. And a gable roof is going to have a slope on 2 sides, and that's going to be really important to keep in mind. So if you go back to your architecture tab and click on roof, one thing that you want to pay attention to is that this define slope is checked only for the walls that your roof is slanted on. So we're going to put in a 1-foot overhang. We're going to use our pick walls option again. And we're going to say that our longest side here and our longest side here is sloped. And you'll see that I have a blue dotted line that pops up, and that just indicates my 1-foot overhang. So another thing you might notice is that we have our slope symbols that are here, and we have our rise run. So for every 12 inches, my roof rises 9 inches, and that defines our slope. Now for the other two walls, we want to make sure we uncheck define slope and click on this wall and the last wall. Those do not have slants on them, and we'll say check mark to finish it. We do want to attach our walls to the roof, so say yes. And if you go to the 3D view, you'll see that we have a nice shed created. Now, I want to click on my roof, and let's change it from a generic material to the wood rafter with asphalt shingles as your finished material, and say OK. And we want to see this as a preview. So if you go down here, let's change our visual settings from hidden line to realistic, and you will see that update. So in the next tutorial, I will show you how to add windows and doors and how to change the materials of the walls. Thank you for watching.